I see myself going to check out the German guard when my mother said, don't go there, because I was always curious.
Hey, brave girl, how you do the things that you do? Don't mind me.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Brave Talk Show, the show for brave women craving the connection that comes with real conversations about the concerns and TMI details we face every day. I'm Robin.
I'm Vanessa.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Teresa.
Be sure to subscribe to join our weekly conversations.
Today we have an amazing guest on the Brave Talk Show, Dr. Erica Miller. She believes that no matter what has happened to us, that we can not only endure, but thrive. Now, how does she know this? Because Dr. Miller is a Holocaust survivor. She spent 4 indescribable years in a concentration camp and learned that with determination, courage, and belief in ourselves that we can overcome anything. Dr. Erica Miller is now an inspirational keynote speaker and international best-selling author who embraces the bright side of life with infectious energy. She encourages audiences to pursue their dreams, find passion and purpose in their everyday lives, grow, change, and stay relevant. She walks the walk, and she tells others that if you can do it, or if I can do it, so can you. That's why people leave saying, I want what she has. She has a PhD in clinical psychology. She ran a chain of mental health clinics for more than 30 years before diving into real estate investing in Texas. She's been interviewed on Fox, CBS, NBC, ABC, and she's now here with us today on the Brave Talk Show to talk with us about lessons learned from the Holocaust and how we can be strong, brave women in today's world. Dr. Erica Miller, it is such a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you for joining us.
Guess what? I'm just like Dracula with blood. When I am hurt, if it's one person or 100 or 1,000, it's sharing my voice, my experience to empower. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And life takes, courage. I have many mantras, but the one that is relevant to me and to you is like life takes guts, grit, and gusto or gusto. Guts means courage. Grit means postponing gratification. And gusto, be in the moment, be grateful, enjoy, and pursue your heart. So, whatever you want to know, I'm unscripted. I repeat myself. I can because I'm an elder whenever it's convenient to me. And I'm high on life, girls. I cannot believe my good fortune because, like I said, we are who we are because of it, in spite of it. And, not all of us, but again, there are less leaders than followers. So I designate you on the Brave Show as myself as leaders, inspirational leaders, because it's more than just us. And it's life is a mixed bag, and you have to embrace it all. So coming back to me, because it's all about me.
I love you.
I do not brag. I share with such gratefulness.
I love that. I don't brag, I just share.
Yeah, I had normal life, whatever that means, in Austria, Romania. Mama, Papa, and his sister, 5 years older than myself. Up till 7 years, it was normal, whatever that means. My mother tongue is German. And then the Nazi, the Romanian, they came and they started hunting for Jews. And I didn't understand what goes on. And I need to tell you, I don't know, any of you saw Schindler's List?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. No, it is like that mayhem. And a little curious kid like me, I wanted to understand what's going on there. Here we ran to the attic to hide. I heard dogs barking and I hear whatever. So after that, it's mayhem and nobody would tell me. When I asked what's going on here, and Mama and Papa, those rarely contorted faces, don't ask so many questions. So we were hiding in the dog barking, and then we ended up at the train kettle going to nowhere. We did not know where. So I have trauma means I have a lot of just like a video, like little, here and there. But memory is not very much there, and that's what trauma is all about. 4 years is a long time, ladies, girls. It was a holding camp in Ukraine called Mogilev. It was a holding camp because it didn't get us fast enough because there were so many Jews in all those European countries. And then the Russians liberated us after 4 years. So people in my camp died from typhoid and starvation. And it's a miracle because Mama, Papa, my sister, and me, we survived barely. And I went to high school at night, education. Nobody was educated, but I just had to pursue education. And then in the Israeli Air Force for 2 years. And then destiny had it. I came to the United States. I was an old maid of 23 or 24. By coincidence, I met the man I was married to 53 years. He was a good guy. I didn't know what happened to him because I evolved like crazy. So when I had 2 kids, my son went first grade, I decided this is the time to go back to school, not go back to school, and become a healer. Nobody wanted me to. And 8 years later, I had my PhD in clinical psychology and opened 10 mental health clinics, and he helped me. So my point being is we are who we are because of it, in spite of it. Don't tell me because I'm Jewish, I have to die. Don't tell me because I'm a girl, I cannot jump in the pool or in the lake with the guys. Don't tell me I cannot be married, have kids, and have it all. So that fearlessness, that bravery that you represent is just part of my life journey. And it's all because, again, obviously part is DNA, because my sister was beaten down all her life, no respect from her family, no education. My mother had nightmares to the end of her life, 82 years. And I have to be an example. So my fearlessness comes out from being captive. And it's really amazing because I was old enough. Seven is old enough. So 7 to 11, I don't remember faces. I don't remember engaging, but obviously I had to because I can see like kids jumping over dead bodies playing. I see myself going to check out the German guard when my mother said, don't go there, because I was always curious and I was a bad little kid, bad meaning I just followed my heart even there. So that the kindness of people and the brutality of people was just one incident that was kind of almost like branded into my brain. Here I snuck into the gate, that big bad wolf of Nazi, and I wanted to see what is it? Who is it? So here I snuck onto, in spite of my mother said, make sure you don't go there. So he grabbed me and I thought to myself, here I go. He's going to kill me. I did not listen to Mama. So instead he grabbed me by my, whatever I had on, and asked, what's your name? And I said, Erica. So help me, I don't lie. I have no reason to lie. I'm telling you, girls, that was branded in my brain. This tough, miserable face softened up and almost tearful, saying, I have a little girl at home. Her name is Erica as well. Remember, Erica is a wildflower, it's a German name. And he started to sing me that song. Can you imagine that I remember that song, but I don't remember hardly anything else? Auf der Heide blüht ein kleines Blümelein und es heißt Erika. And in a heartbeat, he just kind of pushed me into the ground. This is not a place for little girls. Go back to your mama. So I kind of got up and I turned around quickly, and then he threw me a candy bar. And I remember saying, oh my gosh, do I share it with my mother and my sister? But I don't want him to know what I did. So I gobbled it all up. And then I started the relationship with the Nazi German. I used to sneak there when he was there, were other guards too. And then he used to throw me a candy bar. Now, that to me, when they ask me when I lecture, how do you feel about Nazi Germans? I say, how do I feel about Jews? There are some good ones and some bad ones. And that interaction with the German Nazi really impacted me to really believe the kindness of people, which I experience off and on, and tears come always when that happens, but obviously the brutality of people as well. And being in the camp, I don't remember. Somebody had to teach me math, writing, whatever. Because when I came back, when the Russians liberated us, we barely could walk back home. We were absolutely missing. We had a typhoid fever, yellow fever. I mean, degradation that should not be witnessed by anyone, but it's still happening, as you know. That is not new. In Somalia, in Africa, wherever it is, there seems to be brutality, kindness and brutality. There's more kindness than brutality, but it happens even now. I can only tell you about my experience that by seeing how on the train, Catherine, seeing how they beat people, how I wanted to go and help Papa, and my mother hold me back. I saw grabbing babies and throwing them and shooting them. The degradation, but I saw, I'm very detached. And as a psychologist, it really comes in handy to me because that's what I envisioned. And it toughened me up. And in that room, we finally reached, we didn't know where we were going. And we were in one room, 20 people. And this one woman that followed me in my life, she was obviously lost from all her family because I don't know about you girls, but I was in Bali in the monkey colonies, how they hang together and they delouse each other. That's what happened there in that room. And she was all alone wailing. That contorted face I'll never forget. So I wanted to go and touch her. I was 7 years old and my mother held me very strong together. So that contorted face was with me forever. So the first opportunity, like I told you, when I felt safe, my son was in first grade, I decided I need to heal that face, maybe healing myself as well, because I am so tough, outwardly, but I do know I'm vulnerable and you don't have enough time for me to go and tell you about myself. Only thing that I will still tell you about the camp. I remember singing and dancing. They had to be, they were teachers, they were lawyers. They did not ask what the Jews did. They just, those that were not killed, they were just holding there so they can do what they needed to do. So dancing and singing, I remember that. But the one that really made an impact, and it's so funny, it's not funny, but there is a script finish. There's going to be a movie of my life, the portion when I went back to school. Watch me. Red carpet. I don't know. Where are you located? You right now.
We're in Utah.
In Utah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was last week in Sundance. I was there. Anyway. All right. So the script, because, all right, when I looked out the window every morning, some of those people with those clothes on, they picked up dead people and put them on this little wagon to take them away. Because like I said, people died from typhoid and starvation. And I looked at those dead bodies laying there just before picked up. I was mesmerized to look out every morning in the little window. And I thought to myself, they're so ugly. Maybe tomorrow I will be a corpse. I don't want to die ugly. I want to pose just before I die. So the name of the script, just listen to that. The name of the script is Beautiful Death.
Wow.
You hear me? I am telling you, when it comes out, watch me now that you hear my golden voice, check me out on my internet, on my website, I don't brag, I just share. Because my life, the gifts that I feel, I did not bargain for. No kid should have to go through, no person should get through. But I'm not alone in that. And a trauma is universal. Indignity and brutality is not something new. I can always only tell you that I came out on the other side fearless. I do not walk on the freeway. But again, I have courage, and I don't encourage anyone to go and jump out of a plane or walk up 17,000 feet, in Mount Everest with the National Geographic. I have to prove something. Look at me. I can do that. And by the way, on March next year, a little group that I met up in all over the world, not all over the world, but specifically one couple in Cambodia, and they called to say they want to walk up on Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa.
Oh.
And I said, have me in, if I can pencil you in, if I'm available. So likely, and guess what? I don't have to prove nothing. it's like I could push the parameters, like this little engine that could. And it's just, we're speaking about inspiring. If I can do it, it's possible. But life choices we make is essential. And my last book that made me international bestseller is Chronologically Gifted, Living Long and Healthily to 123. Research all over the world. What people, centenarian and super centenarian, where you all are going to end up. What does it take for you to live long, not just living long, but healthily? And you know it all. It is, the food, the baking, the exercise, faith, if you have it, how wonderful that is. Being involved in the community is very, very important part. So it is like, I did not know that it's good for you, but for 40 years, I've been exercising every day. I walk 3 miles a day. I do aerobics. I have, with the weights, I did overdo it, 12 pounds. And then I had my shoulder cuff repaired. And now I'm doing only 5. And I, a pescatarian, and I'm engaged in the community, and I'm traveling, and I have balance in life. And the rest is destiny. And my husband of 53 years, he was such a fan of mine after he realized that nothing he can do to stop me. He died about 9 years ago. He's still sitting here, but I'm so sorry, but I'm so glad I'm still here and rocking. Literally, I'm rocking. This last weekend, I went to a transformational, it's a group of people. They're all taking good care of themselves. So they're just like you're doing, involved in the community. It's new for me. And I have a video that one of the girls that they could not help it. I was dancing, rocking with this guy that I don't even know his name. He's from Mexico. It's a global company. Oh, and then I put it on Facebook. And when I see myself rocking, it's like I get all those fans. Oh my gosh, you're forever young. But look at my energy. Look at my gratefulness for being here and sharing my life story with you. So again, it's like preaching to the choir, like is the Pope Catholic. You're exactly what you need to do. But people are lost, you know what? And it's never too late. Vivian, is that you?
Vanessa,
so sorry. Vanessa?
Yes.
It's never too late. I was an old girl of 39 when I went back to school. And again, I had one at CSUN. I'm in Los Angeles area, in the Santa Barbara area. And I started there in the undergraduate, and there was this guy sitting in the front, an old guy, really old guy. Maybe he was 50 or 60, who knows. So he said, you always wanted to be a healer, but again, he had to work. Now he retired. Now he's going to, the program because he wants to, give back to the community. So my point being, it's the timing, not everybody, but following your heart, meaning all of you and all the audience that you're sharing me with, it's like there's a strategy. Before you can do anything, you have to have a vision. What is it that I would like to do at any time on your life journey? How am I going to get there? And all the naysayers, who those people are to tell you what you should do with your life. You should have it all, whatever all means to you, because there is a zero population in the world. There is those that don't want to get married. So there's more options, and especially for us girls, blessed to be in America or in other countries where we can evolve. Yeah, there's discrimination, all kinds, black, green, whatever. It is like, but we can do it, and we have to have support from each other. Look at you, 4 of you, you're bonded, you have the same goal, you are making a difference. So in Hebrew, they say, tikkun olam, repair the world. And you don't have to speak Hebrew to know, because that's what you're doing. You are taking care of yourself first. Selfish is good. Take care of yourself first before you take care of others. They tell you that on the plane. But then reach out and heal. By reaching out, giving a compliment, by doing anything is that natural high we get back. And we're going to live longer and well. And I don't know, I just thought I'm not dead yet. And I miss myself already. I want to live forever. Do you hear me?
I hear you. Now, let the audience know here, because we were trying to guess, we know our history, when the Holocaust was. How many years young are you?
Okay, I will be November the 10th. I'm a Scorpio, a good Scorpio. Don't mess with me.
Ooh, yes.
In November the 10th, I will
Scorpio
be
too.
88.
88. Amazing.
Wow.
So you've outlived your mom. Your mom passed away at 82. When did your dad pass away? How old was he?
Also 82, and that was a really amazing, because then I could really live till 123, because he was a smoker. My mother had high blood pressure. The only thing I take is Synthroid. I cannot believe my good fortune. Here we go again, because I have a, underactive, overactive thyroid, something like that. But they obviously had some good genes. And it's so funny, because before I wrote that book of research, how long can I live? Because to me, life, I could not believe. I thought I will not live till 30, 40, I'll never see my kids. So now that, it's like, how long is long? So a rabbi, so when Jerry died, it was 9 years ago, a long time ago. I'm a Scorpio.
Jerry's your husband, right? Just to clarify with our audience. Jerry's your husband?
Jerry's my husband.
Okay, so when he passed away.
9 years ago, and it's a long time, and I'm a Scorpio. Any of you girls are Scorpios?
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Uh-huh.
Vanessa,
November 6th.
you get me. I am
Yes.
such a sexy mama. I am telling you. I'm sharing. You might be able to edit me out if I'm too.
No. We tell all on this show. It's amazing the things we talk about.
Okay.
Sexy is the least of our worries.
I had such crushes. Remember, I was in the Air Force for 2 years. I was 17 and a half, 18. And all those handsome, tall pilots. Are you kidding me? So I had a boyfriend. And again, we did not go all the way, because I thought once I go with one, I'll sleep with all of the pilots.
So she said no.
Absolutely. We went up till, all the way. So again, unfortunately, life is such a mixed bag. He was shot down, the airplane. Then I decided I'll never love again, and all losses are horrendous. But again, I kept myself a virgin till I was an old maid, and I married my husband. He never knew the difference. Such a shame. Can you imagine that I did not live out my passions? And since then, I've always crushes. I still do. I've crushed on my rabbi. I have crushes on people that I feel powerful. So again, as a Scorpio, Vanessa, it's like, Scorpios. My point being is there's nothing off the table. And for me, I will never not be open. And that is sharing from one girl to other girls.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be 88. Old people want young people, and young people want young people. But again, destiny may be, because I will never not be open. I miss male companionship like crazy. I miss the playfulness. So maybe again, if not, because I don't need a man. But I'm absolutely Scorpio crazy with the idea someday maybe.
Well, I love, because I read your book, the book, Don't Tell Me You Can't Do It. And one of the things that really resonated with me was, you make this joke about how you didn't get married till you were an old maid, but you didn't want to. Like, you talk about in your book about a couple of things that I'd love for you to expand on. One, that you purposely put it in your heart that you would not have sex until you got married. And it wasn't for purity's sake, it was for something else. And I'd love for you to share why you chose not to do that. But also, I'd love for you to share why you chose not to follow the culture and just get married so young, and instead, went opposite to this culture and did this old maid thing, but purely because you wanted to. You had things that you wanted to do. Would you mind please sharing those two things about the staying a virgin until you got married and choosing to be an old maid, quote unquote?
Okay, I still am, always have been outside the box. Don't tell me I cannot do it. The pressure of society, tradition is horrendous. And I don't know where I took the inner strength. I don't know. I just knew because of the dead people I saw, and how my mother had no self. She was the most unhedonic person I knew. And my father had all the control. I just decided, I don't really need a man. I don't need to get married. And going to the army in Israel, girls and boys both have to go, but girls have a choice not to go if they get married or if they say they're Orthodox, that their religion doesn't permit us. And I thought, it's horrible. The country needs me, and I will go. So that kind of grit that kind of guts that I had, that is not new. It's still happening. So that was the thing that I don't want to. Nobody went to high school at night. I was the only girl at night school with the guys because but education was not important. And my mother especially was so concerned I'll never find a husband. I'll be too smart. So that kind of, don't tell me what I can do. I didn't think about it, but I just knew. So coming to the Air Force and feeling the only girl it was a pilot school there in close to the Syrian border. And me being, because I was educated for them, I was the one that they came for the equipment for the planes. So I had access to all those pilots. And I had crushes over their voice. They all came to me. They needed me. So that one, Aaron was his name. He was absolutely adorable. So we connected. And on the weekend, motorcycle, we went to Nazareth, to Tiberias. We were just absolutely talking about the future and love. But I did not go all the way. I was the virgin and then he died. Because know thyself. I will not keep chocolate in the house or because I'm going to eat up a whole, no matter how good that chocolate is. I knew, I had a sense. I was so sexual aroused. My visions, that was Scorpions, not all of us, me. So I will literally, it's like, know thyself, because poor impulse that if something, I might be the lady of the night, and I did not like the vision. So that's the only reason. I'm not advocating. Yeah, I think it's way too young. I see my granddaughters, young kids, young girls, because they want to be popular. So I have all kind of ideas, sexuality, when it should be somebody special. But that was the reason. I did not need a man to support me. I don't need anybody. I'm all alone in the world. I have some issues. I'm working on it. I'm much better than now because you can never count. Death had an impact on me, not in a bad way completely. So being open, when I say I'm open, I'll never give up on having someone, a male in my life, my active life, but if not, that's all we can all be. Those of us that can be open for their life to evolve. We are in the process of evolving forever. Not all of us, but you are, I am. And I hope those that listen to you and me, it's like, yeah, it's a fear. We have our DNA, fight or flight, but they're not our ancestors. The other tribe is not going to take us over, and the bear is not around in the backyard, not in my backyard. But so again, yeah, when in doubt, freak. But we are speaking about courage, embracing it all, the gift. I don't know why I'm here. I don't care. I don't, maybe other life, I don't know. I just am in the moment and I'm talking to you girls. And I better shut up so you have some more questions for me.
Well, I'm sure all of your story has led to some questions, ladies.
Yeah.
What stood out that's making you think, oh, I want to know more about this or that?
How did you meet your husband?
Not very romantic. It was an arranged marriage. I don't know about you, but I'm intrigued with the paranormal. I had experienced. Any of you went to a psychic or to a numerologist? Any of you? Okay. All right. When I was in Israel, I felt very strong. I don't believe it anymore that all Jews should be in Israel because the country needs us. No, I do believe we need to be scattered all over the place, exactly where we are. So there was a psychic from Haifa. I lived in Tel Aviv. So a bunch of our girlfriends went to have personal sessions. So when I came there, she said, oh my, I see you want to really live here out your life in Israel, but you're not. You're going to go over the sea a long way away, and you're going to get married to a widower and have 2 children. So the tears started gushing because I cannot make that happen. I'm not going to leave Israel, But part of me thought maybe she's right. So here I am a visitor. I visited my sister. It's a lot, but if you want to read my first book, my life story, it's like I went to just before I was dating a guy named Moshe, whatever his name was. and the pressure was horrendous. I was 23 years old to get married. So I said, okay, I'm going to get married to Moshe. But first, let me go and travel all over Europe and go and visit my sister. Are you kidding me? A girl in those days to travel by herself? My mother, but she could not, nobody could stop me in anything. So here I came to visit my sister. It was high holidays in 1958. And also a visitor from Israel that knew my sister was sitting there next to this woman and that young man. So she said to that woman, oh, is that your son? Is he married? So she said, no. So she said, oh, do I know a girl from Israel? She's visiting. And on the other side, there was a woman, American woman. She had a granddaughter, whatever. He got 2 phone numbers. So, but he took out the American girl first, obviously, and then he took me out. The rest was history. And guess what? He was still in mourning. 2 years. His wife died in childbirth. Okay. So if that is not amazing, but psychic, so it's like, to me, even then, you know what? I was not a psychologist yet. But I really liked him. I had great feeling, empathy for him. He had to be Jewish in those days. Nowadays, I don't care any longer. My kids, if they come back with anything. But those days, he was Jewish, he was tall, he was educated. So again, and he was in mourning 2 years. So I used to say, okay, hey, either you move on and live life or kill yourself. This is not a way to live in life. So my strengths and my whatever. So then we dated 8 months. And not like ladylike, I decided, because there were some other dates, because my sister really wanted me to stay here to bring out my parents from Israel. So we are united as a family again. I dated some other guys. So here I told Jerry after 8 months, I'm ready to get married. I want you to marry me. And he looked at me and says, what, so soon? I said, Jerry, if you by now don't know that you want to marry me, you'll never know. This is the last time you see me. Do you hear me? I guess he got scared. He said, give me a week. Okay, I'll give you a week. So obviously he came and said, yes. So it was not very ladylike, but I asked him to marry me. And we had a really good union. No, it was not a love affair. I loved him. Yeah, we had sex. Yeah, we had fun together. He was funny in the movie, in the script that's going to happen. He was a real funny man, entrepreneur and wise. But again, it's like destiny had it. That's how I met him. In a high holiday in some Jewish temple, and I asked him to marry me.
What makes you say that it wasn't a love affair? It sounds like you guys were in love.
But and I have issues with the word love. To me, it's loyalty, devotion, love. But I mean, it was not love affair like I experienced with Aaron or my crushes. The heat, the passion. It was nice. I liked him. I respected him. We had sex, all right. I was warm. So if that is not love, it is love. So I kind of am concrete with words. But it was not like Hollywood.
Right. And in your book, you talked about Aaron and, your heartbreak after he passed away and some of the walls that you would kind of put up to protect yourself. And you talked a little bit about your relationship with your daughter and your mom. And I love how honest you are in the book about, how the Holocaust influenced your strength to be able to go out there and just get what you wanted. But that there was some damage, so to speak, that it caused in you that you had to... That was part of your life journey, was healing for that, and one of it was how close you got to people in your relationships. Would you mind expanding a little bit on what that journey has been like and where you're at now?
When I say and I put out there, we are in process of evolving forever, as is the universe. Nothing stays the same thing. So I really am. I'm not so passive. I'm reaching out. I feel safer. I feel I belong more than ever. But again, what they did to me is having issue with trust. You never know about strangers, about Nazis, about this and that. And being tough is a survival mode. And I'm really tough. And I feel really bad for my daughter, because she didn't have my experience. and she was born in America. She's smart and cute and everything, but she did not measure up because her father was an enabler. I was in graduate school, and whenever she didn't get my way, she went to him. He got everything. I needed structure, setting limits. I heard you talking before. Really important to set limits, especially with children in a relationship, setting limits because they matter, so do we. So she had a really tough time between extremes. And she's 60 years young right now. And whenever, what, 90% I go along with her, especially now. I gave over to her to run the business in Austin. We have real estate in Austin, family business. My husband started it. We sold here and we bought in Austin, Texas when it was a bust and all that kind of thing. So she gets very, very sensitive to my approval. Because unless, she didn't want to go to school, unless you're dying, you have to do this and that. Big deal. Don't tell me you work so hard. You're supposed to work hard. Me thinking I worked 2 jobs and invented high school. So I did not know any better. So she's a treasure, but we will never not have those issues because I was really rough. She did not measure up. Because again, she wanted to go in big shoes like her father. I wanted to be in dresses. Contrary. So we had some issues, and I'm really tough. Not so much for my son, because again, he came out smiling. She kicked herself out in the 8th month, the last week of the 8th month. She broke the bottle. She kicked herself. She's still kicking. And my son. So there are issue dynamics, but how lucky am I? That she loves me just fine, and me both, that they're repairing every time we kind of something in each other's face, because knowing her, understand that she's vulnerable to me. I wish, that she would not be so sensitive to me. But past matters. As parents, those of you that are going to be parents, are parents, we do the best we know, but no regrets, because unless we're psychotic or really sociopathics or whatever, we do the best we can. But the mending and working together and understanding, if we are able to, not everybody can introspect, is really important. So I'm a tough mama. I'm a tough business person. But I will not be held hostage. Those are my guidelines. The worst thing is to ignore me. So I come with that kind of grit, that kind of thing that I'm a little bit rough. In mere fact that I came as a young girl, 14, 15, to Israel. And the Israelis are very, very open. They're very much in your face. They're not polite. Maybe now they are, but I like that because I always knew how I stand. So my son, when his mother, do you always have to say how you think, how you feel? I said, maybe I can do better. So, but I'm not easy. And I do offend sometimes people because I translate from different languages. And sometimes I don't mean any, I don't know any better. Case in point, that is a funny one. I use the word putting out a lot. It's like, you don't like it too bad, put out. So here I was telling them, I'm walking in the community with the 2 girls every Tuesday. And one of my ex-patients lives in the community. And again, it's really interesting how we met because it was a men's group. And it's a really interesting story. But he wanted to walk with me because I'm a walker. So he said, okay, how about in the morning, 8 o'clock or something like that, because he was working out of the home. So I said, I walk in the evening. So I didn't hear from him. So then I was sharing that. I said, too bad, let him put out. So Jennifer says, Erica, putting out is a sexual connotation. I said, I did not know. It's like, what else can I say? Give me another word for putting out. Okay. So go the extra mile or something like that. So I find, and I've hurt people's feelings because I'm blunt, I'm direct. As a clinician, I like that because it's like, directness means this is not the culture here. How can you, the stories I can tell you about people that never share, they don't want conflict, and they never address it with their husband or with their, children or whatever. And then nobody's a mind reader. So a little tiny vignette, one of my patients, she came, with and her husband, and then I had him come in too. He did not want to go out in the restaurant with her, and she never knew why. So it came out that she picks off of his plate, just like his sister did, and it drove him nuts. So she says to him, why didn't you tell me? Case in point. people don't want to hurt people's feelings. And Israelis taught me nothing is off the table. Yeah, you can be a little bit not so rough, but I am, and I'm doing a little bit better. But it's really important that we are direct. Without directness does not mean attacking. Confronting does not mean, it means something that you encounter, never mind somebody else. If you are engaged in some kind of relationship and something bothers you, find a way, honey, I love you. Yet, when you do this and that, could you please ta 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 ta? So it's not you're an asshole. So my point being is, this is a culture here. So I make my input in couples therapy really important that nobody's a mind reader, and the presentation is very important. How you say it without attacking somebody. Ta-da! What else?
Love it.
I'm so glad that you're here. You're my kind of grandma. I don't think I could keep up with you, though, and
I
I'm
know.
pretty active.
She's amazing. Well, we're going to be closing up here, and I'd love to just hear from you, speaking to our audience. We're moms, we're wives, we're ages 25 to 45, most of us. We've got kids, some of us have jobs. We're living in this post-COVID world. A lot of things are changing, so much happening with our economy and government and all of this. And in your wisdom, in your age, you've seen so much. You've seen such great atrocities. You've seen such amazing blessings and wonderful things that have happened. Would you mind just closing us with just any advice? What could you tell this group of people that we can move forward with and just glean from your wisdom on how to navigate the world that we live in today with all the things that us women are dealing with and going through?
Okay, the good thing is, because fear holds us hostage sometimes, comparing with others, what should I do and all that. You don't need to do anything. Reflection, if you can. Not everybody is introspective and reflective, but your audience is, because it's your audience. Evolving, meaning, all right, assessing first before you do anything. So that is comforting to know. So you're not going to make a mistake. There is no mistakes to be made. Life takes courage, like I said, but before you can do anything, evaluate. All right, what am I missing? It's not taking away. What can I add to my life so I can strive, so I can contribute, I can be a better person, I can be a better mom, I can be better, not better to compare with somebody else. Climbing our own mountains. So reflection is really important. Some people never get there. So how lucky are you to be in this point of life? You're in America, number one. You are privileged. I call myself an aristocrat. Are you kidding me? So because we have option, we can reflect, we can. So because it is a game, it is a strategy, and you should have it all. But first you have to know what is it you want to do. So if you are lucky to have your partner, because we all flock into us, it's a couple's world. And if you don't have it, if it's bad, then, divorces can be a blessing. One door closes, another one opens. If you're lucky enough to have somebody special in your life, see how can you enhance it? What do you participate to enrich the relationship or not? When you have kids, to make sure that setting limits with them. They're not your friends. I beg of you. I see people, my friends. No, they need this structure. So when kids then later, they're advertising on television, I saw, you checked my drawers. Thank you, mother. So need to know that, kids, they have they pretty much emulate, compliment, but when we need to teach them something. It's not about being a bully, not about pointing a finger, saying, look, in my house, when you're going to be, a mother or father, whatever, you're going to make your choices. But as long as you're with me, I command that you have to be home by, or you cannot watch television like that, or whatever. So we are an instructor to our kids. So all your audience, whether you're 25 or 45, they have about 3-4 more chapters. And again, living long and well and being engaged in life like I am is because I will never stop. the neurons are celebrating right now. Look how I'm high on life. Look at me. I'm so hyper, like crazy. And then I live with myself. I talk to myself. I'm very engaged in all kind of things. But it is like, right, what keeps me long and engaged is exactly what I said. Being in the moment, seeing what do I get rid of. I got rid of people that were negative. Those were friends of Jerry, my husband. Nice people, but everything the cup is half empty. Oh, my back, my this, So I got rid. I literally cut them off of my life. If it's family, you cannot do that. But negativity as is positivity, like you experienced from me, they both are influential on us. So we, as grown-ups, we can make choices. We are the captain of our boat of life. And yeah, that's a nice saying, but it's a fact. People have opinions. You should be doing this, not that. What if, and all that kind of, regrets. No, when we make a decision, it seems right now, there's no right or wrong. Evolving means being open to the opportunity and planning for something, and there's no failure. If there is no failure, like in Israel, I emulated that too. It's like something doesn't work out. The startups in Israel are crazy. I go every 2 years there and spend time. If one door closes, if this doesn't work, you do something else. There's no failure. If there's no concept of failure, you're open to opportunities and being part of a family, part of a society, because the end of the day, it is the familia, it is family. How lucky I hear that some of you, maybe most of you have. Yeah, I miss my partner, but I have 5 grandkids that think that I'm the coolest Bobby. Bobby is babushka, old lady. And you know what? And they parade me around. They put me on TikTok, TikTok, or whatever. That is so funny. I was in a ball game. So Talia, she's a devil like me. She's getting her PhD in physical therapy, a doctorate. So she says, Bobby, do you know the positions of those ball players? So I say in that, I did not know she puts me on TikTok. I said, how would I know the ball player's position? I know sex position, if you want me to tell you. So that is on my TikTok too. I mean, the laughter that they have, because, you know what? Right. So did I answer or more?
You did.
Yeah,
Well,
thank
and there's
you.
going to be so many opportunities. Anybody who's interested in Dr. Erica Miller's story, she's got 3 books out. I'm going to put the links in the description box. I read Don't Tell Me You Can't Do It. It's an easy read. I read it in like 2 days. And it was so inspiring, and it just, and a really great depiction of her reflection and her energy and all that she's done. So we're going to put the books in the description box. In the meantime, for anybody who wants to follow you on social, how can they follow you? Where are you? Where are you in the internet?
How would I know? There's too
She said
much
she's
in my
everywhere.
life. I have Dr. Erica Miller website. I also have Facebook, and I also have Instagram, and I have LinkedIn. So how to get on me? Ask, whoever connected you with me, I think it's Jerry Nyland or Cecile, how to do that. Because I would love you girls, because you're a younger me, to follow me on Facebook, because I'm hilarious when you see me, whatever, because, but we have to have fun. I beg of you. I look at you all smiling. And again, that energy, the positive energy that you have with each other, and being on stage to empower and to, other women, because there's so many questions, there's so many sadness in life. So it's kind of nice. So yeah, how to get on I think when you just go Dr. Erica Miller, I think there are other Erica Millers, but you recognize my pretty face. Not so pretty. Okay, so that, but then also the other sides, I don't know how, because if I don't accept everybody on my personal Facebook, because sometimes I have requests from all over the world. I'm a little bit spooked, especially when they're guys. You hear about all the predators in the world. But get guidance how to find me, because I'm fun.
We can put our links in our show notes.
Exactly. We'll put your links in the show notes. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much, Dr. Erica Miller, for being here with us today.
It was fun seeing you all there. Keep on trucking.
Yes, thank you. All right, and thank you everyone for joining our Brave Conversation.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss our next episode.
Ready for more? Click on the next video for more Brave Conversations.
have some brave topics you'd like us to discuss, leave your suggestions below. We'd love to hear from you guys. See you next week.
Hey, brave girl.